Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab wasn't the only man on an ill-advised holiday during the Taliban's takeover of Afghanistan in August. Thrill-seeking British student Miles Routledge was trapped in Kabul after choosing to holiday there because he wanted to visit the most dangerous city in the world. As chaos descended on the airport with hordes of desperate Afghans hoping to escape the brutal Taliban regime, Miles was put up in a UN safe house before landing a spot on one of the precious British military flights to safety. But the 24-year-old's bizarre holiday didn't go unnoticed, and he received lots of attention and criticism as his treacherous trip went viral. Now the hellish holiday hunter has landed himself a book deal as he prepares for a dangerous walk through war-torn South Sudan next year, which is sure to bring yet more criticism. And Miles joins me now. Miles, look, I'm someone who likes a nice holiday, okay?
Yes.
I want to be on the beach with my pina colada. So I just look at what you do and think, are you crazy? What's going on?
Oh, absolutely, yes. But there's a good meaning behind what I'm doing anyway. So when I'm going to South Sudan, I'm bringing a good amount of money with me, crowdfunded by some lovely individuals, and we're going to donate it to as many people as I can. So the trip is going to be for bringing attention to what's going on in the world. I'm going to help out as many people as I can, because if you give money directly to a charity, most of the time it goes towards the CEOs, the millionaires, the corrupt people.
I think there's a better way to raise money without trying to put your life on the line. But look, let's talk about the Afghanistan
Of course,
trip,
yes.
because you actually changed your title to Lord, right? You
Yes.
paid £15 in order to do that, is that right?
Oh,
so,
yes.
So you're Lord Routledge, and you say to your friends, I'm going to go to Afghanistan so that when I get back to university, I can boast to everyone about what I've done over the summer. Now, little did you know you would land in Kabul just as the Taliban took control. Tell me everything. What happened?
Absolutely. So when I heard about what was going on just before my flight, I called up the embassy in Kabul and they said everything's going to be fine. I spoke to my tour guide.
That's before you left the UK?
Yes, absolutely. Several days before, I spoke to my tour guide. He said everything's fine on the ground. Life is normal, for Western media lies. I looked online and every single news article spoke that the country wouldn't fall for 90-plus days. I had my flights booked and I was giving away a whole month's worth of paycheck towards some people. And the quote about me going there to visit the most dangerous areas is usually taken out of context. I was going there basically for the most dangerous countries for Christians, basically. So I was doing it as kind of a holiday, but also a charity event. And sadly, all the media was wrong. Joe Biden was wrong. The US government was wrong. Everyone on the ground was wrong. The Taliban just walked in unannounced, and then everything collapsed within a few moments, basically. And I had a little opportunity to react.
And so where are you? Where are you staying in Kabul? What's your circumstance? Are you completely on your own when you find out?
Oh, yes. So I'm currently with my tour guide at the time, and we're in the town. We see the bank run going ahead, and everything's basically going terribly. We start panicking, and we run, basically. It's run for the hills. We get in cars, but unfortunately, roads are clogged up with traffic. People don't adhere to the road rules in Kabul, but people start pulling out their AK-47s and shooting into the air to kind of get right away to the next car next to them. It's bizarre. It's chaos.
And so does someone tell you the Taliban are on their way? Had you seen any evidence of that at this point?
Well, social media started popping off, and at that point, I kind of got the idea. What we did, we pulled out and then went to the top of a hill in order to circulate around the actual traffic. And we saw loads of Taliban members in trucks with AK-47s and machine guns mounted on the top of these trucks, shooting into the air and yelling. At this point, we do a U-turn and leg it. The Taliban are in Kabul, and I place over my head a headscarf, pretending to be my tour guide's wife, to try and blend in. And then at that point, we make a run for the embassy. Unfortunately, the embassy left a little bit early, or maybe there was some misinformation. And then I run towards the airport.
Okay, so at this point,
Yes.
you're on your own. The Taliban are taking over. No one is at the British embassy.
No, sadly not.
So you literally are making a mad dash to Kabul airport, where there's about to be an almighty deadly suicide bombing.
Oh, absolutely, yes. So I run to the Kabul airport.
And this was meant to be a holiday, Miles.
It was meant to be some sort of tourism and also charity work.
Okay.
I like going to interesting places and doing some good, but also documenting it because.
So what happens? Because you end up getting some help and ending up at a safe house. How do you get to that safe house?
So when we noticed the airport's completely inoperable, abandoned almost, we abandon it ourselves, me and my tour guide. We walk and then we see a group of people forming and we notice it's just outside the airport. So we see a safe house. I come across some Turkish people guarding the area and I speak to them, very kind people, and they let me in at the end. So I just walked to the safe house and then after about 1.5, 2 days in the safe house, me and about 300 other tourists and workers are brought back into the airport. So we abandon our guns and we basically take the Taliban into our hands and then we just walk through the airport.
How does that happen? How do you get from the safe house to the airport? Who assists you? Who comes to your aid?
The UK Army and the US Army, they were brilliant people, amazing. So they were with me, talking to me, and then we just popped open the back door and all of us walked out in unison with the Taliban with us by either side, seeing that we're unarmed and everything.
Before that happened, Miles,
Yes.
I imagine there must have been moments when you were in that safe house thinking, there's no way I'm getting out of this alive.
Oh, absolutely. There was some parts where I just thought, I'm going to die, absolutely. And I was completely prepared for that in that situation.
And you're obviously strong Catholic.
Yeah, so
And you've said that you were prepared to die.
Absolutely, yes. If something went wrong, it was completely on me if I died, which is understandable. I don't expect anyone to look after me. They didn't have to, but the UK Army were amazing people.
Well, that's the point I want to come to, Miles,
Yes.
because, look, obviously I have great sympathy for the fact you ended up in this situation. At the same time, there was actually a lot of anger towards you too, because remember, this was really a tense situation. And there were a lot of Afghan translators, for example, who were unable to escape, who were not assisted by the British and US forces. Some of them have been killed by the Taliban as a result of being left there. Do you not worry that the army having to rescue you potentially cost an Afghan citizen, an Afghan translator, their life?
Oh, thankfully not, no. If that did happen, I wouldn't be able to live for myself, truthfully. But thankfully, I walked to the safe house and we walked about 50 metres to safety. Now, the thing is, the plane that I got on was only for Westerners only, so there was not a single Afghan person on the plane, hence the photo, there was no women and children. So all of us were in good spirits. There was over 300 tourists there, and we did as much as we could. I went there and handed our month's paycheck, so I think I did some good work. At the same time, too, I've been in contact with several people from Afghanistan, trying to help them out. So I've given 2 people letters of recommendation, and they've managed to get out of the country because of that. So I like to think that I did do some good overall. I did help some people. I didn't put anyone's lives at risk. I didn't take up a place on the plane of an Afghanistan citizen. And at the same time, my tour guide, I'm helping him out currently, keeping him financially afloat during his difficult time. So one thing I want to say on the air is if there's anyone out there in the UK Army or in the government or anything that's able to help my tour guide and his family get out of the country, he's a NATO ally, please contact me if possible. Because that's the one thing I'm trying to do out of this.
No, well, that's a good thing to say. What did the Taliban say to you at the airport?
Oh, they were actually completely fine with me, weirdly. When I met the Taliban, they actually invited me for tea, of all things. It was bizarre.
At the airport?
Yes, because they saw me on social media before I realised it. So some of them actually pointed at me.
They knew you were there?
Yeah, exactly.
You were a high-profile target, Miles.
Oh, no, they were actually completely fine with Westerners. They didn't want any Westerners dead.
No, they didn't.
They wanted safe passage. So some of them actually basically went, can we take a selfie? And I couldn't refuse, so they just took photos of me. It was bizarre, and I didn't play it off as a joke, but they were really kind to me, and they allowed a safe passage, and they reassured me every step of the way. But I do understand the Taliban are just doing that to be able to, put up a show for West to show, we're fine, we're in control of the country. But as soon as the West fully forgets about Afghanistan, as the news media usually does, they're going to do horrific things. So that's what I'm trying to do at the moment, is raise some awareness for my tour guide and get him out, if I can.
Miles, your poor mother. Your poor mother during this absolute debacle. I mean, she was too distraught to even speak to the media because she was so worried about you. You can't put her through this again.
Oh, well, the thing is, with my personal life, it's a little bit different. So I've been estranged for 4 years by my own choice. And to be honest, as difficult as it is, my family have major issues I can't discuss about in so much detail, but it got to the point where I was homeless and, we were eating our bins, basically. During my childhood, at 13 years old, we were bin diving. And there was some very terrible things that went on during my childhood, which makes me basically want to step away from my family entirely.
Okay.
And the thing is...
But it's not just your mum, is it? It's your friends, it's the people who care about you. It's me as someone who's just met you. I mean, look, I would say, what's the definition of madness? Doing something completely wrong multiple times, and you have not learnt your lesson from this very lucky escape from Afghanistan. You want to do it again, Miles. I mean, I'm almost imploring you. Go to university, take a little gap year trip, do some backpacking. Just leave South Sudan, mate.
I would say no, because at the end of the day, I've raised enough money to do some good stuff. And I think charities aren't going there and doing good things.
Okay, but I just need to explain to everyone what you're intending to do in South Sudan. This is a 750-mile walk from Juba, the capital of South Sudan, to Kenya. A route that no Western person has ever walked from the founding of South Sudan in 2011.
Oh, yes.
You don't have any chance of completing this trip. You're going to have to be rescued again, aren't you?
Oh, I don't believe so, no. No one will be able to rescue me in this situation too. But I think it should be fine. At the end of the day...
Oh, Miles.
At the end of the day, I'm going there. I'm giving away a lot of money to some good people. And like with Afghanistan, there were children running up to me, crying, starving. Dogs were pretty much losing all their fur and everything. Life was really tough, and I helped out a lot of people. And I think overall, the money I gave did basically allow people to do some good stuff.